but back in 2012 and 2013, very competitive games there. And I think that Christian Heritage has shown over their brief time as a JHSA school since 2012 that they're serious about their football program, and they've put some good teams on the field before. So you never know what could happen. There's been some close calls against this team in the past. It's been a few years, but this is going to be a serious challenge for Darlington tonight.
Well, it's going to be a serious challenge, as people who are listening may know, and other people who didn't listen to the game last week. Darlington had a tough loss last week at Chris Hunter Stadium. The Tigers were able to rush the ball with some consistency, but there were times when the Tigers really needed to be able to rush the ball and couldn't. Passing game was erratic, a couple of missed opportunities, and the Darlington Tigers fell to Mount Zion 28-17 at Chris Hunter Stadium. Tonight, the Tigers have got to be able to establish the run, but there's going to come a point in the game where the Tigers have to be able to put the ball in the air with Frank Manning, and he's got Tommy Atha, Casey Gunn, Barrick Wade, Carson Schweiger as receivers. But there is a point at which Darlington is probably going to have to put the ball in the air. And, since Griffin Brewster got injured, Darlington has been more conservative. But you got to let it all hang out tonight, because you do not want to fall 2 games back in the region.
No question, Steve. And another thing, too, is when you look back at last week's game, one of the themes for us was missed opportunities. Darlington had a lot of scoring chances in that game where they came up short because of failed execution, or they got bit by penalties. And just it was one of those nights where the ball just didn't seem to bounce their way at many points of the game. So if they have a night like that tonight, they're going to struggle. But if they can play some mistake-free football and, like you mentioned, kind of get some more passing game worked in and get some more balance on offense, I think they can be successful tonight.
Yeah, one thing I don't know, I haven't seen Christian Heritage, but of course, Gage Leonard, their freshman running back, he has really done well for them. And then you have number 12, Matthew Neff, their senior quarterback. He's thrown the ball well. But what Darlington did not do very well last week is Darlington did not defend the run very well. Mount Zion was able to move the ball effectively on the ground for a lot of the game last week, and that's going to be a big challenge for the Tigers. Of course, with Luke Lewis out with a concussion, DJ Johnson, the freshman, he played great last week, but at the same time, you could tell he was a freshman. There's a point at which, the learning curve, you've got to learn the technique, and you've got to be able to learn how to read the different things that are going on. But the Tigers have got to be able to stop the run tonight.
There's no question about it, and they've got a freshman running back on this team that we're going to see some tonight. His name is Gage Leonard. He's already had 51 carries, racked up about 300 yards. He'd scored 5 touchdowns, so you got to keep him at bay. But when you got a team like this that's got a pretty mixed attack, they are a really tough team to stop. But I will say this, when you look back at Mount Zion, Steve, they had 4 or 5 guys that really could tote the mail, and I'm not sure that Christian Heritage has quite as many weapons as that Mount Zion team has.
Well, no, and I've just got Breon Harris running through my dreams, and of course, like we said last week, good luck after you graduate, Breon. Right. We're happy we don't get to see you anymore. But Darlington's just got to come out and establish some things and play fundamentally sound football. Last week, it was really unusual. Very, very seldom do Tommy Atha coach teams miss as many opportunities as we had last week. But let's give Mount Zion credit. They're a very fine football team. This could be one of those years that the region is really, really evenly balanced at this point of the season, and it's still early. Half the season's over, but there are 5 teams, two tied for first and 3 tied for second. Tonight will be a night where things are going to start settling out a little bit. Of course, North Cobb Christian is off. Darlington and Christian Heritage play each other, and Tryon and Mount Zion play each other. So that's going to shake out a little bit tonight. Captains are about to come out on the field, and we'll get those for you in just a minute after my wife, Gina, our executive producer, writes those captains down for us.
I can give you those. We've got Zach Gentry, also Sid Reese. You got Dwayne Jones, and then Matthew Neff, the quarterback. That's Christian Heritage for the Darlington Tigers, Steve. You're going to have Cade Brock. You will also have Colin Rogers, Joseph Marion is one of the captains, and then the other one is going to be Tommy Atha.
Tommy Atha Jr. And so those are the captains for tonight. They have come out onto the football field. And we're about 2.5 minutes away from kickoff. So we're going to send it back to WLAQ for a 1-minute break, and then we will come back to tell you who's going to get the kickoff tonight and get ready for football between the Darlington Tigers and the Christian Heritage Lions. Don't go away. Get those chin straps buckled and get ready to go.
Thank you.
All right, back at the Lions Den, ladies and gentlemen, up in Dalton, Georgia. Darlington facing the Christian Heritage Lions, and it's a big game in Region 6A. The Tigers are going to kick off to the Lions. The Lions will be defending the west goal, and they are in their home jerseys. Their colors, Matt, they are crimson, gold, and black. They're wearing crimson jerseys. Actually, not quite as crimson as what you see with Alabama and the Crimson Tide.
Makes me think more Boston College-looking type color.
Yeah, a little more red, but they've got gold helmets with CH on it, and they have their crimson pants. Darlington will be defending the east goal. The Tigers in their visiting white jerseys, purple numerals, gray pants, white helmets, purple tiger paws, and again, Tigers for our captains tonight were Tommy Atha, Joseph Marion, Colin Rogers, and Cade Brock. Cade Brock really playing well on both sides of the ball on the line tonight and all season long. And, of course, Tommy Atha and Colin Rogers along with Joseph Marion having great seasons. And then again for Christian Heritage, Matthew Neff, their quarterback, Dwayne Jones, Sid Reese, Zach Gentry. Zach Gentry's their great wide receiver. And Zach Gentry will be dropping deep to receive tonight's kickoff. As we said, the Darlington Tigers will be kicking off to start tonight's football game. Alex Little will be teeing it up for the Tigers Christian Heritage. And again, they've dropped another person back. Let's see. They've got number 7, Zach Gentry. And is that number 12? Is that Matthew Neff, the other one?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so another team that puts their quarterback.
Actually, that one may be, it's Gage Leonard, actually.
Gage Leonard, okay.
22.
The freshman running back, number 22. Alex Little teeing it up for the Darlington Tigers. Get those chin straps buckled as we got high school football coming to you tonight from Dalton, Georgia. Beautiful campus at Christian Heritage. We're up on top of the press box. And, Matt, as we said, our papers get wet up here. They already are. Toe meets leather. High end over end kick, not particularly deep, and it's going to come down at the 10. The man on the far hash mark, he cuts to his left, and then he cuts back to his right. Matt, he's going to be tackled at the 21-yard line, and the Lions will scrimmage on the far hash mark for their first possession of the night.
Yeah, not a big return there. It's good coverage there for the Darlington Tigers. Make them go 79 yards here if they want to get into the end zone. And love to see a good defensive series here from Darlington. Get the ball back. I would like to see Darlington get that offense going quick in this game. I think that's going to be one of the keys, Steve, for them to get things in rhythm early.
All right, yes. Man, across the line, Tate Ratledge, DJ Johnson, Cade Brock, they flopped them around. Last week, Tate played left tackle. Now he's at the right tackle spot, and they've moved DJ Johnson, the promising freshman, into the middle of the line. Man in motion, right to left for Christian Heritage. 3 wide outs to this side. Neff's going to look over here, and he's going to complete the ball on a bubble screen and that's going to be to Gentry, and Gentry's going to be tackled, Matt, right at the line of scrimmage. Rhett McDermott comes running out with the ball, and the referee says, son, if you'll hand it back to me, we'll get this game going.
Yeah, the defense really keyed on Zach Gentry, and we told you in the pregame the guy gets a lot of touches. He's got 685 yards this season with 9 touchdowns. He's a big target for the quarterback, Matthew Neff.
Tate Ratledge directing traffic for the Darlington defensive line. 5 men up on the line of scrimmage. Neff in a shotgun. He's got a halfback to either side. He's going to hand it off to a running back, and he is met. I believe that's Gage Leonard, but he is met immediately by Cam Watson, and Cam Watson throws him for a loss. And really nice play out here by Cam.
Yeah, Coach Pogue was real excited about Gage Leonard coming into the season. He's just a freshman. He's already picked up 51 carries throughout the season. He's done a good job, but the Tigers were having none of it on that play.
All right, this is going to be 3rd down and about 12. The line to make, Matt, is the 31-yard line, and the ball's on the 19. Neff in a shotgun formation. 2 wideouts to the far side, and he's got a tight end on the near side. He's getting everybody lined up with a halfback to his right. He's looking to his right. He's rolling. He's going to throw the...
So there again, Steve, we're seeing those mistakes crop up early in the game, and it's almost like something has gotten in these kids' heads right now at this moment.
Yeah, you know, it just went off the hands of the receiver and then went right into the hands of Zach Gentry, and he ran for a touchdown. Number 16, Joseph Dixon. He's in for the point after. The ball is down, it's up, and it is going to be good. So with 7:43 to play, the Tigers go down 7-0.
Wow, what an unbelievable way to start the game. You had great field position on your first drive, run your own 45-yard line, go 3 and out, have to punt, get the ball back on an interception, and then turn around 2 plays later after a penalty, then an interception, and, of course, a pick 6. Horrible way to start the game. That's a tough situation.
Yeah, and this is one of those things, is Darlington, are they ready to overcome something like this? Because this is the kind of thing after last week's game, you can have this happen, and then the next thing you know, you let it get out of hand.
Yeah, they really need something positive to happen, because the way things went in the game last week, they did have a couple lead changes in the game, had some opportunities, had some mistakes. And to start this game with some mistakes like this, to have something positive, have the ball bounce their way, could really be the catalyst that helps them get back into their groove.
Yeah, and maybe there will be a short circuit on the speaker that's next to us, Matt. Boy, I'll tell you, it is like Dixon lining up to kick it for Christian Heritage. Roth Wilcox is deep for the Darlington Tigers. And, boy, lightning strikes fast. The Tigers now trail 7-0. Dixon has been given the official okie dokie to kick the ball. He does. It's a deep line drive kick to Wilcox at the 7. He's running upfield. He's got a hole, Matt. 35, 40, 45, 50, 40. Cuts into the middle of the field. 30, the 20. Run. 10, 5. Touchdown! No flags. Are there any flags? I don't see any flags. Wilcox. Oh, Matt! He took that ball, ran into the middle of the field, had to cut it back to the near side, and that's going to be, I think he caught it about the 7. Let's mark it a 93-yard touchdown on a kickoff return. Exactly what the Darlington Tigers needed.
Yep, you had an interception, pick 6 for Christian Heritage. Darlington punches back, and that is exactly, as you mentioned, what they needed, and now they just got to keep that minimum going in their favor.
Roth Wilcox gunning for the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. A great kickoff return. Swigger to Manning to Little. It is good, and the Tigers tie it up. So, Matt, with 7:15 left to play, we're going to send it back to WLAQ for a 30-second commercial break. Big Kahuna, take it away. back at the Lions Den with lots of music coming through our headsets, Matt. But after a 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Rolf Wilcox, which followed Zach Gentry's 82-yard interception return for a touchdown, the teams now have had a defensive touchdown, now special teams touchdown, tied at 7:15 to play in the quarter, and the Tigers are back in this thing.
I think one thing is clear, Steve. This one's going to be wild and woolly. It is
and
they are really crazy.
Yeah, they're like that up here. Sometime Little kicks off to a man who takes it at the 5. He's running straight up toward the far sideline. He's going to be knocked out of bounds. And, you know, Matt, Rolf Wilcox ran that kickoff back perfectly. He was on the near side, ran it into the middle of the field. Then it looked like he might get tackled at about the 35 and cut it back to the near side. Just a great run.
Had good view of the field, great vision, made all the right turns on the way down the field like you mentioned, and got it where it needed to be. And that reset the game. We're right back where we started, and kind of helps you forget about that pick six just a few minutes ago.
Yes, it does. That just a few seconds ago. Christian Heritage will start their third possession on their own 25-yard line on the far sideline. Neff is going to be in a shotgun. Got a man really close to the sideline over here, Matt. He is far away from Neff. There's a halfback, Neff. He's going to hand it off to Gage Leonard. Gage Leonard's ridden out of bounds over there by
flag on the play.
Kobe.
Two flags came out.
And two flags, and I suspect that where it is probably going to be a late hit out of bounds. Let's see. The referee's about to give us the signal. Let's pay attention. It's a dead ball foul, and it's going to be a personal foul against Christian Heritage. So the Lions now having a little composure issue. They're going to be penalized for 15 yards after a gain of 2.
Well, just to give you a little background about the coach here at Christian Heritage, his name is Jay Pogue, and he took over in 2016 for his brother Preston, who's now over at North Murray. And you were telling me you think that he is the Preston that played for UGA.
Yeah, yes, back maybe in the Ray Goff years.
Well, Steve, before Jay Pogue was here, he was an assistant coach at Davidson University.
Up in Davidson College up in North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
Wow, I did not know that. All right, this is going to be second and long for Christian Heritage. The ball marked at the 14. The line to make for them is the 35, so they got 21 yards. Oh, my ball! Whoa! That happened so fast I couldn't describe it. That ball got over the quarterback's head, and he hit it back, and a lineman recovered it. Matt, I think that was Gage Leonard who jumped on it, but Darlington had a couple of guys diving in that direction. Now Christian Heritage is inside their 10. That's going to be a loss of 6.
Yeah, that was a tough play for Christian Heritage, but now with the penalty and then the fumble that was recovered by Christian Heritage, Darlington's defense has got a good situation here to get a stop.
Neff is in a shotgun formation, 3 wide outs to this side. The last time they looked like this, Matt, they ran a little bubble screen to Zach Gentry. Darlington with 3 defensive backs out on this side, 3 down linemen. I think that's Tate in the middle. And Darlington jumps offside, I believe, unless a man moved. Let's see. Illegal procedure against the Lions. So, Matt, that's going to put it down half the distance to the goal. Is going to put it at the 4-yard line. And Darlington's linemen, all 3 jump. So DJ and Tate and Cade Brock, they all jumped, so they all saw it.
You know, we talked about the marquee win that Christian Heritage has this year. That's against Mount Zion. Obviously, Darlington got beat by them last week. Same opponent last game for each team. Christian Heritage was off, had a week to heal some bumps and bruises.
2 wide outs to the near side. Neff standing in his end zone again with halfbacks to either side, and he's going to look downfield. He's got a man on him. He's going to be sacked inside by Tate Ratledge. Tate Ratledge got him when he came up into the pocket, and he's going to be tackled for a safety, and the Tigers go up 9-7.
It's very interesting play calling when they're at their own end zone, because normally you would figure you'd try to get a hole up front and try to get somebody to get some space, but they're trying to throw the ball, and that's the risk you run in that situation, and this time it bites them.
It sure does, and you know they almost got tackled in the end zone before, Matt. Neff threw an interception, and of course Darlington turned it over on an interception that was run back for a touchdown. But Darlington now goes up 9-7. He had pressure on him, Matt, and he stepped up right into Tate Ratledge's waiting arms and got thrown down, and Darlington now's in business because Darlington gets the football.
I got a question for you, Steve. When was the last time, barely halfway through the first quarter, that you saw a pick six, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and a safety all in the first half of the first quarter?
I can never remember seeing that.
That is wild.
So this is the first and last time I've seen it. All right, Christian Heritage, they're going to kick the football. Instead of punting it, Dixon is going to kick the football. Joseph Dixon, and he is the junior. Roth Wilcox, he's at the Darlington 20-yard line. Just a moment ago, 93-yard touchdown on a kickoff return for Roth Wilcox. Gunning for the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Dixon, toe meets leather. This is going to be a high end-over-end kick coming down to Demetrius Rogers at midfield. Rogers at the 40, 35, and there's a flag down, and that is typically going to be some kind of illegal block, Matt. And so that flag's at about the 41. The referee's carrying it to the 45. So it's going to be an illegal block in the back against Darlington. So the Tigers, instead of getting the ball deep in Christian Heritage territory, will scrimmage approximately from their own 45.
Well, for our listeners that may be curious about some other scores, we just got a report back from the studio. Our game of the week on 95.7 The Ridge today, Steve, is Almerchi and Coosa. We'll get an update on that. But if you're interested in the Rockmart-Chattooga score, Rockmart is up now 14-0 over Chattooga. That 7AA is Rockmart and everybody else.
Yeah, Rockmart's good. The Yellow Jackets really have gotten rolling down there. You know, the program has built up. And, you know, we used to play Rockmart a lot, and don't play them anymore. They're in a different region, but boy, they're good.
Now, didn't Tommy Atha play at Rockmart?
He did.
Days? I thought so.
Yeah, he did. All right, Darlington, 1st and 10, their own 45-yard line. Colin Rogers. He is trying to run off the left side. Somebody had him by the ankles, and a defensive back came up and pasted him. And, there's a flag down on the field. And let's see what that is. It is at the line of scrimmage. Personal foul. And that is going to be targeting.
Ooh.
A personal foul targeting against Christian Heritage.
Called on Christian Heritage.
And, boy, he came up and racked him.
You're not kidding.
15-yard penalty against Christian Heritage. And, Matt, that is not an automatic first down, but it is going to be a first down on a yardage. And we'll talk about that at halftime tonight. The penalties in high school that are different in college and the NFL, just so people will understand the way of looking at what the officials do.
Here's an early score that may surprise you, Steve. I just heard back in the studio that Rome and Woodland are tied up at 7 apiece. I figured Rome be up by 21-0 by now.
Boy, I did too. I didn't even think Woodland would score in the first half. No. All right, 1st and 10 for Darlington, and here's another change in the rules, Matt, difference. In high school, obviously, the player who targets another player he does not disqualify himself from further participation.
Yeah, I noticed that he didn't leave the premises at that point in time.
All right, there was a flag thrown by the umpire, and they waved it off, and the fans down below us are booing on the home side. Frank Manning, he's going to hand it off to Colin Rogers, cuts it back. Matt, he was trying to come to the right side, but not a whole lot there for him. And number 24, Sid Reese, he cuts him down as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Darlington at the 40 of the Lions.
Yeah, it looked like he almost broke through that tackle, but they wrapped him up pretty good and got him to the ground, and he was a step or two away from getting a chunk of yards. That was just great defense by Christian Heritage.
Yeah, now let's look and see what the Lions are doing. Last week by the second half, Mount Zion was just selling out on the run. Frank Manning, he's going to throw the ball complete to Roth Wilcox on a bubble screen, and Roth Wilcox actually is spun forward. He is down. He looked like he was trying to put the ball forward, but he fell down, And now it's going to be a gain of 6, so the Tigers have a manageable 3rd and 4, and this may even be 4-down territory.
Yeah, it was a pretty good play. It really didn't look like much was there. And then, of course, the wide receiver, Wilcox, he kind of stutter-stepped and shook one of the defenders and was able to stretch the play a little bit. So maybe they can convert on 3rd down and keep it rolling.
Hope so. 3rd down and 4, Matt, on the near hash mark. I'm getting a little weary of that speaker and the gonging in there. We may have to figure out how to short-circuit it. And that's going to be a illegal procedure on Colin Zazzaro.
False start.
As long as they don't have a cannon. I can do anything, but I don't do well with the cannons.
Colin had great form getting out of his stance. Unfortunately, it was at least a count before he was supposed to get going. And he goes off the field, and Blake Collier comes in. The Tigers now have a 3rd and 9. That's a big difference from a 3rd and 4.
Big difference. And, I mean, typically you would say this is an obvious pass situation, so we'll see what they do. And if they roll the dice, try to get it down the field a little bit. Haven't seen Darlington air it out a whole lot, but this is certainly a pass situation. They need to get some yards.
All right, 2 wide outs to either side. No tight end. Frank Manning in a shotgun. He's looking downfield. He's got pressure. He escapes from it. He's looking downfield. Complete. And it's going to be complete a yard shy to Gil Maurer, who fell down. And the Tigers will have a manageable, let's see, a 4th and about a half a yard. Let's see where they put it, Matt. It was a nice play by Frank Manning. He escaped from the pressure and stepped down and threw the ball, so the Tigers will go for it on 4th and short. Frank Manning, he's under center. Frank Manning on a quarterback keeper, and there's a flag down, and it's called back here by the back judge. He was counting people. I think he's going to say Darlington had too many men on the field. Let's see. He's counting, and now he's saying no. Waving it off. So the Tigers will have a 1st and 10 on a quarterback keeper by Frank Manning, and he just rolled just stepped to his left, Matt, for a nice little gain.
No doubt, got the 1st down, did his job there. Obviously, Darlington knows that points come at a premium. They need to get down the field and score, because Christian Heritage has been averaging about over 30 points a game, I believe. They've had a really tremendous offense throughout the year, so Darlington knows they got to get points tonight.
Matt, that was a dead ball foul, so the Tigers are not going to be given the 1st down. They're going to have to run this again. And Frank Manning goes over to the sideline. Play clock is starting to run down. I don't know if they're going to get this play in. 9 seconds on the play clock. People going in and out. This may be one of those times where you wait. Yeah, somebody's got to call a timeout, and that's a smart timeout to take. So timeout on the field. 1:36 to play in the first quarter. Darlington 9. The Lions 7, and we're going to send it back to WLAQ for a 30-second break. Take it away, Big Kahuna. All right, we're back, Matt, and whatever that was, it sounded like a cat had been hit by something when it started screeching. But we're back here in the Lions Den. Darlington up 9-7 if you're just joining us. Christian Heritage, Zach Gentry ran a pass interception back for a touchdown, went in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Rolf Wilcox went 93 yards for a touchdown. And then Tate Ratledge bear-hugged Matthew Neff, the Christian Heritage quarterback, in the end zone for a safety. And that's been the score. But Darlington now has a 4th down and about half of a yard at the 30.5-yard line, Christian Heritage.
Yeah, Darlington's played excellent defense throughout the season, only giving up 11 points a game, and that number would have been even better if they didn't give up what they did last week to Mount Zion. The problem has been getting a lot of points. Ever since the Coosa game, well, really the Pepple game, they scored 40-something points in that game, but since then they've only been averaging about 21 points a game, which is not terrible, but with the playmakers they've got on this team, I think that they probably feel their production in terms of points should be maybe a little bit better than it is at this point.
All right, the referee has set the clock. It's running. Play clock is running. Tigers now coming out of their timeout huddle, and they need to just rush to get out here. This is, boy, a 25-second play clock is not as long as you think it is. The Tigers aren't set yet, and it's already down to 6. Frank Manning with double tight ends. He's going to hand the ball to Colin Rogers, and Colin Rogers just lowers his head and goes behind some what looked like wedge blocking, get to the 29. That's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Yeah, that was a good hard run from Colin Rogers. Obviously, they were going to call something different there after the situation with Manning and getting it, but then having the penalty. But he was able to get it, and now they move the chains and got another opportunity.
All right, ball on the near hash mark. Darlington with a 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line of Christian Heritage. And the Tigers had this set up by that safety, got good field position on the kickoff, even though there was a penalty. High snap, Frank Manning gets it, hands it to Colin Rogers, and he just kind of leans forward, Matt. He might have gotten a yard to the 28. That high snap threw the play off timing. The timing wasn't right.
No question about it. And as we mentioned, Christian Heritage having that bye week last week, they are really on a roll. So sometimes you wonder if teams would rather just say, hey, let us play this week. We got a real rhythm going.
Yeah, and they're playing a two-deep safety right now. Unlike Mount Zion, who is bringing everybody up. Now they are bringing all their linebackers up, but they've got 2 deep safety, and they're coming up. And Demetrius Rogers trying to get to the outside. He does. He cuts inside of the safety who came up, spun inside the 20, Matt. And Demetrius Rogers is going to be close to 1st down yardage. In fact, I think he does have it.
You know, Demetrius Rogers is just a sophomore, and on that particular play, we saw him cutting and making some moves, and you can tell watching him as he progresses over the next couple of years, we're going to see a lot of big plays from this young man.
And that was Zach Gentry who came up.
Flag on the play.
Let's see, now there is a flag. It's going to be a let's see
personal foul called on Christian Heritage.
Wow, that's the 3rd one, isn't it?
Yes, the 3rd personal foul against the Lions tonight in the 1st quarter. 29 seconds left. And the Tigers did not get a 1st down. When they called timeout, it was because of the penalty. So now Darlington is going to be inside the 10, 1st and goal at the 9 1/4.
And we've seen just about a season's worth of wild and wacky stuff in 1 quarter of football.
Yeah, great run by Demetrius Rogers, by the way. He went to the left, turned upfield, and Zach Gentry came flying up to tackle him from his safety spot. He just stepped inside of him, Matt, and then spun inside the 20. Great run by Rogers.
Excellent run, you're right.
All right, 1st and goal for the Tigers at the 9 1/4 yard line of the Lions. Darlington up 9-7 if you're just joining us on a touchdown and a safety. Frank Manning to Demetrius Rogers. He cuts it inside, almost got away, and he got tackled at about the 8.5. Let's see where they put it. But, Matt, right now Darlington is definitely committed to running between the tackles. And that's going to be the last play of the 1st quarter. So we're going to send it back to WLAQ for a 1-minute break. Do not go away. Keep those chin straps buckled. And we'll be right back after the Big Kahuna brings you these messages. All right, back at the Lions Den, Darlington going from the west side to the east side now. second down and goal, Matt, from about the 8-yard line. But right now the Darlington Tigers have run 13 plays and gotten 10 runs, 3 passes, Matt. And Christian Heritage has run 7 plays. Darlington has 3 first downs thus far, and Christian Heritage has 0.
Yeah, Darlington's defense has done an excellent job, and that's one of the things that they've done all year long. It's really done a good job of keeping Darlington in games, and here we go.
2 wide outs to the far side. Casey Gunn on the near side. Demetrius Rogers, he is going to be in a wildcat formation. Christian Heritage brings up a bunch of people. Demetrius Rogers trying to get to the pylon. He cuts it up inside. He is upended and does a somersault in the air and lands at the 3-yard line. And now there's also a flag on the play. He gained about 5.
Entry with the tackle.
Let's see. It's going to be a hold against Darlington.
Run by number 2, Demetrius Rogers.
And you know, Steve, this has been some of the troubles that Darlington's had throughout the season. Of course, they've done a good job moving the ball between the 20s, but once you get to those hard yards at the end of the field, they just had a hard time being able to get it down and punching it in.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, Vince Lombardi, the famous NFL Hall of Fame coach of the Packers, used to say the team that makes the fewest mistakes inside the 20 typically wins, and this is a big mistake for the Darlington Tigers.
It really is, but they're still up 9-7. Of course, a really, really wild first quarter. It's going to be interesting to see as we go along throughout this game all the different things that we see take place, because we've already seen a little bit of everything.
I thought that was a foul from the last spot, but it's back at the 20, so that means that they marked it off 12 yards from the last spot. All right, Colin Rogers in a shotgun. He's going to hand the ball or pitch the ball on a end around, and Roth Wilcox is going to be dropped for a huge loss. So the Darlington Tigers now have a 3rd and goal from the 30. You don't see that very often.
No, you really don't. And again, I think we're going to see a little bit of everything in this game. And if you don't get enough football on the radio today, we've got more for you tomorrow. We got Alabama. I believe they're playing Louisiana Lafayette at noon, a rare noon game for the Crimson Tide for you on WLAP.
Yeah, and Alabama's just scary now. with Tua Tagovailoa, they're scary.
They are.
All right, Frank Manning in a shotgun. Darlington, 3 wide outs to the far side, 1 to the near side. Christian Heritage bringing up extra people for pressure. Trying a little bubble screen to Demetrius Rogers, incomplete. And, boy, Christian Heritage had a man on him. That was number 54, Ben Williamson, the sophomore, and he almost caught that ball before Demetrius Rogers could get it.
He did, and I think it was also kind of a classic case of Demetrius had kind of had his eyes downfield looking for where the hole was going to be and turning to run before he had the ball secured. So just a situation where the play wasn't executed as they wanted it to be.
All right, 4th and goal from the 30-yard line. Let's see what the Darlington Tigers do. You got to score a touchdown or turn the ball over on downs. 3 wide outs to the far side, 1 to the near side. Extra pressure from the Lions. Frank Manning throwing deep. Nobody there. Very, very smart play in the end zone by Evan Lester. Instead of trying to intercept that ball, Matt, or excuse me, that was Will Hooper. Instead of trying to intercept it, he just knocked it down. I don't know where the Darlington receiver was. There was nobody in the area.
So they took their shot, came up empty, and another situation where Darlington had an opportunity and just could not capitalize. And I could imagine it's very frustrating for them on the field right now.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a situation where the Lions stop Darlington. Darlington had a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line of the Lions and did not convert. He got a penalty, then a loss, and then 4th and goal and a mile. All right, Neff in a shotgun formation. 2 wide outs to the near side, 2 halfbacks. Here's the snap. He's going to hand it off to number 22. That's Gage Ryan or Gage Leonard trying to get to the side, and he does. He gets out to about the 42-yard line. Instead of trying to run up the middle, he came to the near side, Matt.
And I think, Steve, that was number 27, Ethan Smith. He's a little bit bigger of a stronger runner than Gage is. He's a little bit smaller, more shiftier sort of back.
All right, in any case, it's a 1st and 10 for the Lions at their own 42-yard line on the near hash mark. 2 wideouts to the far side. Neff in a shotgun formation. He's going to hand it off to number 27. He cuts back into the middle of the field. He breaks several tackles, and he's going to be down inside the 40-yard line of Darlington. The ball's out, Matt. Darlington says they have it. Let's see what they mark. It is. Oh, a fumble. So that's a fumble by Ethan Smith after a great run, and he fumbles the ball at the 33-yard line, and the Lions have one of their players arguing with the referee.
Yeah, at first I did think they may call him down, but as you said, it was a fumble for Smith, recovered by the Darlington Tigers. And, of course, they had an opportunity to score over here just a minute ago, but now they get another opportunity to get the ball back after the fumble. So this game may come down to who makes the least mistakes, Steve.
1st and 10 for Darlington at their own 33, and Christian Heritage finally getting cooking on the offense, Matt. And then they turn the ball over, and Ethan Smith, great run. Then he was arguing with the referee. I thought he was going to get a penalty called against him, but he did not. All right, 1st and 10 for Darlington. 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Single setback with Frank Manning. Handoff to Colin Rogers. Colin Rogers off the right side, and he's going to be out close to the 35. Maybe they're only going to get.
I saw this many flags in the first half. They are throwing them at will.
Yeah, there's going to be somebody who's going to have to do a lot of laundering of these penalty flags tonight. All right, the referee is about to give us the signal, but the Lions will be penalized, and that will put the ball back probably inside their own 20-yard line. Illegal block in the back.
Christian Heritage.
Illegal block in the back. That puts the ball inside the 20. And it's on the far hash mark at about close to the 19.
Well, Steve, of course, at halftime we'll be talking about some scores, some big games tonight. Rome's at Woodland, Almochi's at Coosa, Pepperell at Model, Chattooga at Rockmart, Dade County at Gordon Central, Ringgold at Sonoraville. And then, of course, the game we're most interested in, other than this one, is Tryon at Mount Zion Carroll.
Yeah, Tryon and Mount Zion Carroll, one of those will lose and drop out of the tie for second place. Neff in a shotgun formation with a single halfback to his side. He's rolling to his right. Tate Ratledge. Tate Ratledge is on him. Holy cow, incomplete. And Matt, when Tate Ratledge got free, you knew it was just a matter of time before Neff said, I think I just need to throw this ball away.
One thing I would never want to experience as a young man is looking up and seeing Tate Ratledge coming full speed ahead at me, about to drop me to the ground. That has got to be terrifying. I can't even imagine it.
You know, it's kind of like when the Lewis and Clark expedition saw the first grizzly bear, and they said, we don't want to encounter them again.
I know, it looks like something in a cartoon or something.
It does. 2 wideouts to the near side. Neff with 2 running backs with him. Darlington with 5 men up on the line of scrimmage. 1 single safety. Oh, the ball got tipped again, and Neff is going to be dropped. Matt, that looked like the running back cut in front of him first and tried to get the snap. And it was high, and he tipped it to the quarterback, who gets dropped for a huge loss.
And they're fortunate it was only a loss and not a turnover.
Yeah, that's the second time, though, that's happened tonight. I wonder if they've got some kind of play where the running back gets a direct snap, but the snap has been too high. It's going to be a loss of 5, 3rd and 15. The line to make is the 29-yard line. They're at their own 14-yard line. Neff in a shotgun. He's got wide out to either side and a tight end to his left. Man in motion. That's Gentry. He's going right to left. He's going to fake it to him. Now he's going to throw it to him over his head. Interesting little play, Matt. He faked it to Gentry on the end sweep and then tried to throw it to him as he came out of the backfield, threw it over his head, and the Lions will have to punt.
Well, not to oversimplify things too much, Steve, the good news is that, of course, Darlington is finding a way to stop the Christian Heritage Lions, but the bad news is they've had opportunities they can't capitalize on. But the way the defense is playing, if they can ever get things rolling the right direction in offense, things are going to go the way they want to for sure.
All right, Demetrius Rogers and Casey Gunn deep for the Tigers. They're standing at about midfield, and this is going to be a punt. It's not going to be a good punt, but it's going to bounce, and Casey Gunn takes it. Matt, that was a good play by Casey Gunn. Dangerous, but if he doesn't catch that ball, it rolls a long way.
Yeah, and I tell you, the player that took him down, Mitchell Herndon, he's lucky he didn't get another personal foul there. I don't know if you noticed that, Steve, but after he dropped him to the ground, he was kind of taunting him a little bit.
You know, Christian Heritage they've just been on the chippy edge all night, Matt.
They have, and I mean, I guess that's one of the hallmarks of this team is just a real aggressive nature to them. And so far, it has paid off for them. But again, that was a situation where they were lucky they didn't pick up another personal foul. We've already seen them pick up 3 in this game.
Yeah, they've gotten 3, and the Darlington now has a 1st and 10 in Christian Heritage territory. The Tigers have got to convert this field position at some point. All right, Frank Manning in a shotgun formation. Play clock winding down. Hand off to Luke McDermott on a the quick end sweep. And Ethan Smith came up from his safety spot, Matt, and grabbed Luke McDermott. And now there's a flag on the play. Let's see what this is. And as we've said, these penalty flags are going to be dirty tonight. There's going to be somebody having to do some laundry.
Yeah, I cannot remember a game where we've seen this many flags in the entire game, let alone just in the first half, and we still got 7 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Illegal shift by Darlington.
Illegal shift.
And that is going to be denied by Christian Heritage because Darlington actually lost 5 yards on the play itself. And so now it's going to be 2nd and 15. And, that's the second time Darlington has run a little trick play, and it has not worked. Both times Christian Heritage has dropped the Tigers for a big loss. So now Darlington on their own side of the 50. Frank Manning looking over to the sideline. Colin Rogers is the single setback. 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side, changing the play. Christian Heritage, they're bringing their linebackers and cornerbacks up. So they're looking downfield. They're trying to get, that's going to be incomplete to a man on the far side. And this is going to bring 3rd down and about 15.
Yeah, the pass was behind him a little bit. It looked like kind of pulled him as he was trying to grab it going out of bounds, and I'm not sure if that was a catchable pass or not. He had his hands on it. It was pretty close. But
Tigers just have not been able to generate anything in the passing game to speak of. In fact, offensively, the Tigers just have kind of sputtered. They've done some running, but there hasn't been any consistency, Matt.
Yeah, their 2 scores were on a kickoff return and a safety.
All right, that's leaning forward. Colin Rogers, Frank Manning, he's going to throw the ball incomplete. Threw it to the sideline. Barrick Wade was just getting out of his break when the ball got there. Now the Tigers have to punt the ball again. So right now, Darlington has had some good field position, just has not taken advantage of it.
They really haven't. And I don't know if you noticed this, Steve, but in the first series of the game, there was a play where Colin Rogers came up a little bit gimpy. And it looks like he's not moving quite like we're used to. I wonder if he's okay.
Tate Ratledge going to punt for Darlington. High, good kick. It's going to come down at the 20 and bounce out of bounds at about the 15. Trying to keep that ball away from Zach Gentry, who's a dangerous person with the ball in his hands, Matt.
He really is, and we saw that in motion earlier on the pick 6 where he ran it back for, I don't know, over 80 yards for a touchdown, so you've got to be careful with him for sure.
All right, 6:32 to play here in the first half. Darlington up 9-7 if you're just joining us. All the scoring right there around the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. And we're contemplating what to do about, the speaker over there. 1st and 10 for the Lions at their own 15-yard line. Matthew Neff in a shotgun formation, man in motion, right to left. 2 wideouts to the far side with the man in the slot. Neff, he's rolling to his left. He's got pressure on him. He is going to be sacked.
With the run.
He's going to be sacked inside the 15, and Matt had pressure on him, and then at that point he started dancing forward in the pocket, and Darlington just had a bunch of people that got to him.
They did, and Cade Brock was the main man on that play. He grabbed him by his ankles and would not let go until that young man came to the ground. That was a good, aggressive play by Cade Brock.
And Darlington playing with 3 down linemen, and then they'll bring up extra people running different defenses, 2 safety deep. Neff in a shotgun. He's got 2 running backs back there with him. He's going to hand the ball off to number 27, and that is going to be Ethan Smith. And he just kind of keeps his legs going, Matt, and he's going to be out close to the 20-yard line. That was just one where Darlington had him and didn't bring him down, but it's going to be 3rd down at about 5.
Yeah, Ethan Smith is a powerful back, and he's one of those guys that you can tell once he gets running downhill, if he gets some space, he's hard to pull down because he's just so strong and he has some speed, so you really got to watch that young man.
Neff in a shotgun. He's got Smith and he's got Leonard as halfbacks. 2 wideouts to the far side. He's going to take the ball. He's looking downfield. He's got pressure on him, and he's got Tate Ratledge who wraps him up. That's going to be that for a big sack by Tate Ratledge. DJ was back there with him along with number 5, Cam Watson. And I tell you, Darlington right now is giving the Christian Heritage line fits.
I tell you what they lack in offense right now, they're making up for with the defense, only giving up 7 points. That was on the pick 6. This defense is on fire as they've been most of the season, so they're the reason that the Darlington Tigers are in this game right now.
They're going to have nightmares about Tate Ratledge.
They really are.
Darlington with 2 men just inside Christian Heritage territory. High punt. Fair catch signaled by Casey Gunn. Nice play by Casey Gunn. He had men coming down on him. Now, Darlington with 4:26 to play here in the first half. Matt, the Tigers have 2 timeouts left. Tigers get the ball to start the second half. This will be a great time for a time-consuming drive and get some points.
It is, and this has been so frustrating because Darlington on their first drive started on their own 45. Their second drive, they started on the 18 of Christian Heritage. They've had it on the Christian Heritage 46. Now they get it on the 48. They have got to find a way when they've got this great field position to try to get some points, and they just haven't been able to do it.
And you know, Matt, Christian Heritage is playing a really good defense. They're running 4 down linemen, but their linebackers are coming up really close. Their cornerbacks are coming up close. Now they're bringing their safety up, and it's going to be a handoff to Colin Rogers. Colin Rogers spins out of a tackle. Matt, that's the best inside run Colin Rogers has had tonight. That's going to be a gain of about 5.
Timeout.
And there's a Darlington player down right now, and I can't see who that is.
Well, I'm not going to say because I'm not 100% sure. I think I know who it is, but right now we're screened by the trainers, and I can't quite catch his number.
Yeah, so, Matt, you got any other scores for us there on your phone?
Let me check it out, man. I know that the internet here is kind of a little spotty in terms of pulling up the score stream, so I'm having a hard time getting them in real time. Rome 28, Woodland 7. I'm getting some back from the studio now. Our Murchie trails Coosa 8-7. Gordon Central 12, Dade County nothing. Sonoraville and Ringgold are tied at 7 apiece, and I'm sorry you're having gaps between these scores. I'm having to listen to them back in the studio. Rockmart 28, Chattooga 0.
All right, we're at an injury spot here, and the Darlington player is sitting up now. And still can't quite get his number. All right, number 9. And so that's going to be Gil Maurer, one of Darlington's wide receivers. And he is up on his feet, walking off. Looks like maybe he just got the wind down to the 35-yard line. And Matt, those are the 2 best consecutive running plays the Darlington Tigers have had tonight. 2 runs for 12 yards by Colin Rogers.
You're right, and it's taken him a little while to get going in this game. I think part of that's because of the Christian Heritage defense, but as I mentioned earlier, I thought he came up kind of gimpy on a play earlier in the half, but he looked really good and solid on those last couple of plays.
Yeah, he did, and he went off the side. Tyson Darty and Colin Cesaro over on that right side. Here it is, hand off to Colin Rogers. Colin Rogers puts his hand out on Cade Brock and then cuts off the right side again inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Gain of 6, and this is what we really need from the Tigers right now.
Yeah, you talked about it as we were getting ready for this drive, a long drive, kind of eat the rest of the clock as we get ready for halftime, punch it in right before the half. That'd be the perfect scenario for Darlington.
Yeah, Tigers get the ball to start the second half. Frank Manning in a shotgun, hands off to, or fakes it to Demetrius Rogers, tries to pass the ball, and it gets knocked down. And boy, that time pressure was brought by Christian Heritage, and they were in Frank's face before he could even throw the ball.
Yeah, they got behind the line of scrimmage in a hurry, and as you mentioned, just absolutely blew that play to bits. It never had a shot, and really probably should have just held on to that ball perhaps, because that could have been intercepted.
All right, 3rd down and 4 for Darlington at the 29-yard line of the Lions. Frank Manning in a shotgun formation, 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. The Lions bringing up pressure, and that's Sid Reese on the far side. And now the Tigers are going to call a timeout, so 3:02 to play here in the first half. Darlington 9, the Lions 7. We're going to send it back to WLAQ for a 30-second break. Keep those chin straps buckled, and we'll be right back.
Back on WLAQ.
All right, we're back here up at Christian Heritage in the Lions Den. You just joining us, or you came in late. Darlington 9, the Lions 7. All the scoring done around the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. And now Darlington with a 3rd and 4. And you know, Matt, Darlington just has to get something going here and take advantage of this field position.
They really do. The way the defense is played, they're nearly shutting down Christian Heritage, a team that's averaging over 30 points a game. And like you say, if they could just get on the board, they'd have a real shot at this game.
All right, 2 wideouts to either side. Frank Manning in a shotgun. Demetrius Rogers, he is the single setback. The Lions have 7 men on the line of scrimmage, and Frank Manning fakes it to Demetrius Rogers. There's just nothing there. And right now what the Lions are doing, they're just bringing everybody up, and they're selling out anything that might be in the mid-range of passing.
We talked about Dwayne Jones, the man that made that tackle in our pregame. He's their defensive end. He gets behind the line of scrimmage so quick, it's a blink of an eye, and he's picked up over 40 tackles this season, 3 forced fumbles. We can tell why they've talked about him so much.
Yeah, and when you have 2 wideouts to either side, then you've got 5 trying to block 7. That's not going to work very often. All right, now we got 3 wideouts to this side. We got 1 to the far side. Manning in a shotgun. He's rolling to this side. He's got blocking in front of him. Complete at the 20, 15. And what a great throw to Tommy Atha. Great throw and catch. Frank Manning rolling to this side. Matt, that was a beautiful throw for a first down for Darlington.
Yeah, just what the doctor ordered for the Darlington Tigers. Now they're on the hard part of the field. They got the ball on the 12-yard line. I kind of feel like here we're going to see a heavy dose of Colin Rogers as we get towards the goal line.
2:08 to play in the first half. Darlington up 9-7. The Tigers get the ball to start the second half. It would be great to empty the hourglass here and score.
Of course, as I say that, Demetrius Rogers is actually the running back that's in the backfield with Hunter Manning.
All right. Christian Heritage bringing up extra people. Frank Manning, he's got pressure. He's rolling to his left. He's going to keep the ball. He slips a tackle. Frank Manning, touchdown. Holy cow. He slipped a tackle and dove into the end zone, and where he was upended, but Frank Manning, holy cow, 12-yard run. Great play by the junior.
It was a great play, and it was one of those situations where you could see the determination on that run. He was like, look, we have come up short on so many drives over the last couple of games. We are getting in the end zone, and he made it happen with those legs and diving at the end of the play.
All right, Frank Manning puts Darlington up on an extended lead to 15-7. Alex Little in for the point after. Carson Swiger will snap. Here we go. Snap, ball, down, up. Kick is good, just inside the right upright over there, Matt. Whoa! Man. All right, so 16-7 with 1:40 to play here in the first half. We'll send it back to the Big Kahuna for a 30-second break, and we'll be right back. All right, Matt, we're back here at the Lions Den. You know what? I bet most of the fans have headaches.
I feel like we're at a dance club right now, man. Maybe I should just start moving around a little bit.
I've never heard anything loud like this. It just keeps barraging your eardrums. Darlington up 16-7, 1:40 to play here in the first half. Alex Little, he's going to kick it for the Darlington Tigers. Toe meets leather. It's going to be a high end-over-end kick, and it's going to bounce and roll out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Boy, Matt, if that ball had just kept rolling, it would have been a touchback, but the Lions will get it at the 35.
I was hoping it was going to take a friendly bounce for the Darlington Tigers and pin them back at around the 3, but it didn't go that way, and they're going to have pretty good field position here with enough time and also having a couple of timeouts to work with, too.
Yeah, 1:40 to play still. The Lions at the ball with the ball 1st and 10 at their own 35 with 3 timeouts. And in high school football, Matt, when the clock stops on first downs and out of bounds, a minute and 40 seconds with 3 timeouts is an eternity.
It really is, especially when you got some playmakers like Christian Heritage has, but Darlington's done a good job on them. I feel like this defense is fully competent and can get a stop here.
All right, Tigers now swapping around on their defensive line. Cam Watson is one of the 3-down linemen. Tate Ratledge, he's playing over the center, man in motion, and left or right, and they snap it directly to a running back, and he is going to run out to midfield, and that's just a little wildcat, but that one, it worked.
It did, and that is, we talked about Smith there. He's such a strong runner. We did see him fumble the ball earlier, but they've been giving him the rock, but right now he's on the turf.
He's on the turf, and I don't know if this is a cramp. It looks like it is the way one of his teammates is acting, and the trainer is actually going to be out there. Not really a night that you'd expect a bunch of cramps, man.
It's nice and cool. As a matter of fact, this is the coolest night that we've had of the season so far, and it's nice to see here on the first Friday of fall that it's actually starting to feel a little bit like fall. Maybe not quite that cool yet, but we're getting there.
You know, that was one of those plays, Matt, where you don't see it very often, but it looked like they had tried to do that before. A direct snap to a running back who steps in front of the quarterback, and he just takes the ball and then runs it, so it kind of throws your lineman off for a bit.
Yeah, and it gives you an opportunity right there to do something that is not necessarily a high rate of turnover type of situation. Run a play, see what you can get, and obviously they got a lot there across midfield.
Yeah, Ethan Smith has to come out of the game for at least one play, and that's going to be a gain of 17 out to the Darlington 48-yard line. 1:32 to play here in the first half. Referee starts the clock. Neff in a shotgun with 2 running backs. Man in motion is coming from left to right to the near side. Darlington with 4-down lineman. Neff, he's going to throw the ball complete to a man who slips a tackle out there on the far side, and he's going to be inside the 35-yard line of Darlington. And that was just a great play by the receiver to sidestep the tackler, Matt.
It really was, and like you say, he just kind of missed his man. He made him miss, and now they've got it across the field, almost edging towards the red zone. So Darlington's really got to pin their ears back on defense.
Boy, they really do. 1:11 to play here in the first half. 16-7, Tigers up, but Christian Heritage is driving. Ball on the 32-yard line of the Tigers. Man in motion, right to left. Here's the snap. Neff takes it. He's looking over to this side, and it's going to be complete. And Darlington's going to bring him down inside the 20. And the crowd is yelling helmet to helmet. Darlington is really playing soft. Casey Gunn, Matt, was at least 10 yards back when Evan Lester caught that ball.
Yeah, and Lester cut to the inside, then he kind of cut back to the outside, got some more yards out of the play, and they definitely did make contact with the helmets, but I thought the receiver kind of lowered his head as he was going in. That's the way it looked to me anyway.
All right, two halfbacks with Neff in the backfield. Two wideouts going to the far side. The Tigers still playing very soft over there, and that's going to be Zach Gentry. He comes in motion, left to right. Neff looking. He's got pressure on him. He's going to throw the ball into the end zone.
Whoa.
Great catch. Wow, what a great catch. Over there in the corner, the far corner. I didn't see who caught that.
I believe it was it Evan Lester? Yes, it was.
All right, that was Evan Lester. Wow, let's go Evan Lester. Neff to Evan Lester on a great pass to the corner. 35 seconds to play, and that is a huge drive for the Lions, Matt.
It really was. Of course, that definitely changes the complexion of things, as Darlington had taken a pretty decent lead by scoring, and then they get down the field in just a minute and 40 seconds, or less than, I should say, and is just like you said, Steve, as this drive got started with the timeouts and everything, which they didn't even need to use. A minute and 40 was an eternity. They had plenty of time to get down the field, and now we got a three-point ball game.
Yeah, three-point ball game, and I'm not exactly sure why Christian Heritage had to call a timeout. Certainly they're not going to try to go for two. That wouldn't make any sense.
No, I'm not sure. Halftime is almost here, so we'll give you a lot of scores courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. And after tonight's action, you can flip over to our radio station, 95.7 Ridge, our sister station for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show.
And, you know, this is one of those things, you know, Christian Heritage got behind Mount Zion and came back and won that game right at the end. So they don't give up.
And I think a similar instance happened in the Lafayette game, unless I'm badly mistaken. So they've kind of been the comeback kings of the season so far.
All right, Dixon in for the extra point after for the Lions. Gentry will hold. Everything up here is getting a little damp. This ball's down, it is up, and it is going to be straight through. So with 35 seconds left, Matt, in the first half, the Lions close the lead to 16-14.
That is right, they sure do. And, you know, one of the things worth mentioning about Christian Heritage this year, Steve, is it's been a season of first. This is the first time they've ever been 4-0 to start the year. It was the first year they ever beat a 4A school. And if they beat Darlington tonight, it'll be the first time that happened as well. So maybe Darlington can close the door and stop their season of first tonight.
All right, now the Tigers will get the ball right now for 35 seconds. And again, we want to remind you tonight, at the end of tonight's game, Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake, player of the game. And Ryan sure
and have a big play like that. I know that, of course, he's had some really good plays this year. A couple I know one was last week, and so to see a guy like that come out and have a big play and going in this game.
All right, let's get off the ball to Rolf Wilcox, who we quarter. That would be nice. It would be even nicer if we could figure out how to that speaker that's over there. Well, it's going to be running around for a couple of days. A lot of Excedrin will be sold up here in Darlington. To Demetrius Rogers at the 27, breaks past the tackler, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds. And Matt, you know, if he had just this is one of those things. He threw the ball behind his intended.
He did. They were in his face right away. And that was
half Darlington with Darlington territory. And down, picked it up. And
the defender was around him and had enough muscle to pull him and drag him down the second.
Yeah, you know, that's where Christian Heritage is devouring Darlington right now, is just bringing extra pressure on the blockers, and 5 can't block 7. All right, Darlington with 2 deep safeties, 2 outs to this side, 1 to the far side. Neff, he's looking downfield. He's going to throw the ball to a man who's running downfield. Oh, went through his hands and almost got caught by Zach Gentry. That would have been a disaster.
It would have been, and Steve, it almost looked like Zach Gentry when he turned around to look at the ball.
All right, incomplete, and that is the last play of the first half. And messages, we'll come back to talk about the first half and hopefully figure out what to do about that PA system.
I'll tell you a rule in the NFL that absolutely drives me insane, and I wish they did it like they did it in college and in high school, but the overtime rule, I hate it, because you have a situation where you don't necessarily get the opportunity for both teams to have the ball, as was the case in the game with the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints a week ago or whatever, whenever that game took place. And I don't know. I mean, it's one of those situations where if you win the coin toss, you're at a decided advantage at that point. If you get the ball to start, I mean, if you score a touchdown, game over, sudden death, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of a frustrating rule for me.
Yeah, and you know, the old high school rule where you had penetration, and now you've got the better rule similar to college. Here's another rule in high school that's very different from college and pros, and this really caused a lot of problems for referees. And it has to do with what the quarterback does with the football. Has to get rid of the football. In college and the NFL, the quarterback can get out of the tackle box. It has no rule like that. So in high school, the quarterback has to throw the ball in the area of a receiver, whether he is in the tackle box, whether he is running for his life. If he throws that foot forward into Christian Heritage territory down to the 41-yard line, a gain of 11. And, Matt, that time Christian Heritage brought pressure off their left, and Colin Rogers ran to the opposite side for a nice gain.
He really did, and he had a good block there by the lead blocker on the play, Tyson Daugherty, that helped him get down the field and extend that play.
The Lions just bringing all their linebackers up now. 7 men in the box. Frank Manning looking over to the sideline, getting the offensive play. And offensive coordinator Brent Bell sending in the signals, wide out to either side. And he's going to hand it off to Colin Rogers, who cuts up inside on the right side. There's going to be nothing over there. And you know, right now, if they're going to bring 7 up in the box, you got to do something to offset that.
You really do, and that was Ethan Smith with the tackle. We've talked about what a tough runner he is on offense, but boy, he's in a tough hombre from that linebacker position as well, coming up with a big tackle.
Yeah, linebackers and linemen, 7 men in the box, cornerbacks playing up close on man-to-man coverage with 2 deep safeties, and Darlington's going to have to figure out a solution to that. And Demetrius Rogers and Colin Rogers in on offense for Darlington right now. Play clock at 5, wide out to far 3 to this side, and Frank Manning hands off again. They're just shooting linebackers right now, and it's very difficult for 5 to block 7.
Yeah, they had a lot of wide receivers on that play, as you mentioned, but the defense stayed at home. They weren't fooled by the formation. All the wide receivers, they felt like that ball was going to Colin Rogers and just stuffed him.
And, yeah, that's what the Lions found out in the second quarter, that they could rush a lot of people, and Darlington's not really had an answer for it.
Third
down coming up for the Tigers.
All right, 15 seconds on the play clock. Third down and 10 at the 41-yard line. Frank Manning with pressure on him. Man comes right through the middle of the line. He's going to be sacked. That's Trey Cruz. And right now, Darlington just has no answers for the Christian Heritage defensive rush.
They really don't. Been a tough night for the Darlington Tigers on the offensive side of the ball. Good thing their defense has stood tall most of the game. but this is very frustrating. Yet again, great field position, and they're going to go 3 and out. Well, they did get a first down, but they're going to have to punt.
All right, Tate Ratledge, he's standing inside his own 40-yard line, 4th and very long for the Tigers. And so, really high end-over-end kick. It's going to come down at the 15. It's rolling inside the 10 down to maybe the 7.5-yard line. Nice kick by Tate Ratledge. The Tigers have got to play defense now.
I'll tell you one statistic that I want to know so far this season is how many kicks inside the 10-yard line that we've seen from Tate Ratledge punting the football.
Boy, he's had a bunch. He's had a bunch, and this has put the Lions in a long field all night, basically.
He is a massive weapon whenever he's on the field, whether he's punting or just crushing guys, tackling guys.
All right, Cade Brock, DJ Johnson, Tate Ratledge across the line. Darlington bringing up Tommy Atha and Cam Watson. Neff in a shotgun, wide out to either side with a halfback. Darlington bringing up extra linebackers. It's going to be a quick pass out here to number 10.
It's number 10, Evan Lester.
Evan Lester. He gets tackled right away.
Moves the chains.
By the Darlington defender.
Gain of
but a gain of about 5. Gain of about 5. The PA announcer said move the chains. I'm not sure he understands exactly what move the chains means. 2nd down and about 5. Darlington playing very soft on these receivers out there. Handoff to number 22 who spins out into the arms of Tate Ratledge, but he's going to have a first down at the 21-yard line. And Matt, this is something Darlington cannot do, is allow Christian Heritage to start moving the ball, because the Tigers basically have no offensive production.
And not to mention, I don't know how many times I can hear that lion roar before I absolutely lose my mind. So please get a stop.
This actually sounds like a cat getting hit by a car. All right, Neff in a shotgun formation, wide out to either side. He's looking downfield. He's got a man running past the wide receiver, and it's going to be incomplete. That's going to be I believe that's going to be pass interference against Darlington or holding. Let's see what they're going to signal. That's going to be holding. So Casey Gunn gets called for the hold. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, I believe. I know defensive holding at other levels is 5 yards. Let's see what it is.
Holding called on the Tigers.
Defensive holding in high school is 10 yards.
Makes it first down. Christian Heritage.
That's going to be a yardage foul.
Wow.
All right, Christian Heritage on the move. 2nd first down in this possession. 8:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. 16-14. Darlington up by 2. Difference in the game is a safety that the Tigers got. Handoff to running back coming through the line. He was leaning forward, and Red McDermott makes the tackle, Matt, at about the 33-yard line, gain of about 2.
Gain of 3
that
on
was
the play.
Solomon Locke with
7.
a carry. I don't think we've called his name on offense a lot, but he is one of their defensive backs, and he looks like he could have some dangerous wheels if he springs loose.
He gets out to the 34, so 2nd and 7 for the Lions. Darlington clinging to a 2-point lead here in the 3rd quarter. Nice fall evening. Man in motion left to right. Neff, he's going to hand it off to his left halfback, and one of the Darlington linemen slid down the line. I think that was Cade Brock. And he's going to tackle him after a gain of about 3. And so the Lions will have a 3rd and make it about 4.
That was that same young man, Solomon Locke, 2 carries in a row. I think the coaches saw something on that previous carry that they felt like they might be able to get him loose, but didn't happen on that play.
All right, 3 wide outs to the far side, 2 to the near side. Neff in the backfield by himself. Here's the snap. He's looking downfield. He's got pressure on him, and he's going to be dragged down by Cade Brock. Ran straight into him, Matt, trying to escape the pressure, and that's going to be a loss of about 7 or 8. And now it's going to be 4th down and 12 for the Lions. What a great play by Darlington's line.
Definitely Cade Brock getting in there, making the stop, and you were talking about all the pressure that Christian Heritage his defense has been applying to Darlington. Well, Darlington is returning the favor on that drive.
7 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Darlington clinging to a 2-point lead. Tigers waiting for this punt. And here it is. It's going to be a wobbly kick, and it's going to roll past Casey Gunn. Oh, my goodness gracious. You know, you got to grab that ball, but that was a good punt. It never really got off the ground very high, and it slid past him. That ball rolled 15 yards past him.
It did, and really he got out of the way just in the nick of time. He's lucky that didn't touch his shoe.
Flips the field. Darlington now will scrimmage from their own 19. So, Matt, Christian Heritage went from having the ball at their own 8. They flipped the field. The PA has stopped.
I was going to say, Steve, I didn't think they could make it go any louder than we had it, but I think it keeps going up a little bit more.
Yeah. And now, Christian Heritage wide out to either side. Frank Manning in a shotgun. He's going to hand the ball to Demetrius Rogers, trying to get to the outside, and he tries to hurt the ball.
Yeah. Any good run
situation back lined up in a has to run to the outside from behind, Matt, and that's going to be a long. Just again, they're just turning everybody loose on what appears to be a run, and they're bringing them all, pinning their ears back.
They really are, and I mean, now Darlington trying to do some different things with formations to try to throw them.
For Darlington since the middle of the second quarter. Tigers did get a touchdown, but right now he's in a Demetrius down, just a nice one with mid
there
for the top has been able to just rush extra people, and here they come off the edge, and Demetrius Rogers again, and he drops the ball. I believe Darlington fell on it, Matt. Boy, that was another disaster. Is a 2-point and so this is one of those where the Tigers just gotta keep playing defense.
They do. I mean, that's really at this point their only hope. We have not seen a lot in this game that would show us that they've got on
out to the far side, one to the near side. Darlington had a man who jumped into the new
Cam Watson on the right side of the formation that moved over into the neutral zone.
Long time to actually call that. Wow.
Favor
see if are just right. Neff in a shotgun, two halfbacks, two wideouts to the far side, one to the near side. Darlington playing man-to-man, and they're going to run it to a halfback coming up the sideline, and he is going to be tackled. And that's Ethan Smith, and he got to the corner, Matt, and once he got to the here. He's got to have 25. They mark it at the pop.
Well, time out on the
16 point lead. Will have to minute it off to Raleigh. They just keep going to be down and on. And the rest we're going to send it back. We'll be back. Lions Christians are driving, though. They have the ball in the red zone with Christian Harris. Stop the time.
I mean, that was the went down field game as well. Feel like on the physical kid sitting in the end a little bit this year. I mean, they're not necessarily really turn things.
That was number on his own, a little breather for the Tiger. Darlington defense can do something with the left through a tar corner pressure here. There's not there. That looked like a broken play, and he's going to gain about 2. But it looked like he tried to hand it to somebody, and there was a miscommunication there. But it'll still be a gain of 2, second down and 8.
Yeah, he kind of bobbled the snap a little bit there, and I thought for a second the ball might end up on the turf, but he really dodged.
To the far man off on him. He's going to man pass. It'll be here.
Tiger, they can tell what that.
Wide out So this is normally what you see more earlier in the season, but a really nice fall night. This is the first night we've actually had some cool temperatures.
It really is.
For football last Friday of September.
Yeah, we've been kind of fortunate because we've been in press boxes in some cases that have had some pretty nice air conditioning, and this week we're up on top of the roof. And we're lucky because, like you say, it's the first Friday of fall. We started fall last Saturday, and we finally get some better temperatures. And the other part of that is, I know everybody around the area was looking at the weather forecast at the beginning of the week thinking, oh, my goodness, we're going to have all those lightning delays and things like that going on. And we've been lucky with the weather being nice tonight. Sure.
Yeah, it's nice being up here tonight as opposed to, those 90-degree temperatures that night at Gordon Lee. If we hadn't been in the air-conditioned press box, it would have been tough sledding up there.
It was brutal for the players that night for sure.
All right, Darlington, 1st and 10 at their own 47. Frank Manning out here to Casey Gunn. Bubble screen complete. Midfield into Christian Heritage territory, and he's going to be brought down at the 49-yard line after a gain of 4.
Yeah, short pass there for Darlington, and hopefully this is one of those situations where they get a complete pass, maybe try to get a little bit of momentum, a little rhythm on offense, go and get some confidence out of that play.
Yeah, and you got to slow down the Christian Heritage pass rush, keep them from putting 7 guys up there in the box, and that's what they're doing right now. They're moving their linebackers around. They're playing tighter coverage on the wideouts, 3 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Single setback is Colin Rogers. Manning, he's going to throw a quick pass out there complete to Casey Gunning, Barrick Wade. Barrick Wade is going to be dragged out of bounds once he gets inside the 45-yard line. He's going to have a first down, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter. So, third quarter comes to an end. Darlington trailing by 5. We're going to send it back to WLAQ for a 30-second break, and we'll be right back. Don't go away and keep those chin straps buckled. All right, we're back up here at Christian Heritage. Man, have you ever pondered whether or not the PA announcer who's running the speakers here owns a hearing aid store?
Oh, my God. I think you're onto something here, man. It's a conspiracy, and I think if he does, well, I'm not going to his store, but I may be going to one when we get back to Rome.
Well, I'll tell you, I've never been a place where there's been quite so much just loud noise that interferes with anybody's ability to have coherent thoughts.
I'm going to have tinnitus after tonight. I got a feeling, the constant ringing of the ears.
All right, up here at Christian Heritage, Darlington trails by 5. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 42-yard line of the Lions. And this is one of those situations, Matt, where Darlington's got to get a touchdown.
They absolutely do. They're still in this game. Of course, trailing now for the first time in a long time, but they're only down by a score. They got to have some points.
All right, the Lions bringing up extra linebackers, and they're rushing them through. Frank Manning fakes to his left, and he's going to throw the ball downfield. Oh, over the head of his intended receiver, Tommy Atha, had him running right down the middle of the field with nobody near him, Matt, and that's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, I think it was overthrown just a little bit, but Tommy was able to get his hand up and kind of grab it, but that was going to be a tough pass to haul in for sure.
Oh, my goodness. 2nd down and 10. Darlington's got to get some points. No point. There's no question about it. All right, Darlington, 2nd and 10 at the 42-yard line of the Lions. Frank Manning in a shotgun. He hands it to Colin Rogers. Colin Rogers just gets tackled by the guys shooting in from the outside. There's not much there.
Really not. They definitely had a shot on that previous play. Couldn't connect on the pass play. Went to the run. Right now you're seeing Frank Manning trying to kind of encourage his players, trying to keep the energy up. They got to have a big play here or this is trouble.
3rd down and 10, and this is where the line been pinned back. So it's got to be, if you're going to throw the ball, it's got to be something you get out of there quick. All right, play clock under 10 seconds. Manning back, pressure, complete to Barrick Wade. Barrick Wade, 30. Barrick Wade dives inside the 30. What a great call. A wide receiver screen. Barrick Wade got that ball and immediately ran straight upfield as hard as he could, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for Darlington at the 29.
And you called it, Steve. They needed to have a very quick play. They got it out to Barrick Wade, connected. He found a little bit of room to run, got the first down. The Tigers are in business.
Yeah, if you're rushing 7, that leaves 4 on those receivers, and they have to play back deep, and that's where the safeties are playing right now. Man in motion, and that's going to be left and right. Colin Rogers breaks a tackle, cuts it inside, and that's been a nice run for Colin Rogers tonight. He's inside the 25 down to about the 23. Ethan Smith is down again with a cramp. He gets up, but this is going to be a gain of about 6.
Yeah, we'll see if the Tigers can keep this drive going. This is the part of the field they've been really having some problems with, and let's see what they dial up here on 2nd down.
2nd and 4, line to make is the 19. And hands off to Colin Rogers. There's just not any blocking there. So now Darlington's got to, there's no loss on the play, but there's no gain either.
So you have 3 guys in on the tackle. Sid Reese was one of them, and they're just gang tackling.
Yeah, there is a loss of 1. So now the Tigers got a 3rd and 5. The line to make is the 19. And the Darlington Tigers, get a good play and not so good play. Extra men coming up. That time it looked like one of the Christian Heritage players jumped into the neutral zone, but he got back, but they didn't call it. Frank Manning, he takes a shotgun. He's going to throw the ball quickly out here to number 5. And Cam Watson drops a ball that's right to his hands. He had the first down. You just can't do that. 9:25 to play in the football game. Tigers now have a 4th down. Field goal doesn't do you a whole lot of good. You've got to get a touchdown here. A field goal would be about a 41-yard attempt.
Carson Swiger just came in off the sidelines here for this package.
All right, Tigers need to hurry. 5 seconds on the play clock. 2 wideouts to the far side, 2 to the near side. Barrick Wade inside the 20 down to the 18. He will have a 1st down on another one of those little wide receiver screens. And he snagged the ball, Matt, and just kept on running at full speed. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Darlington at the 18-yard line of the Lions. Tigers move the chains.
Oh, we've had quite a scrap here tonight. This game has had a lot of different elements to it, and it's going to have an exciting finish, you got a feeling, but Darlington's got to have a score here.
All right, Frank Manning in a shotgun. 3 wideouts to the far side, Barrick Wade to the near side. Christian Heritage looks like they're going to bring their linebackers up again. 17 seconds on the play clock. Change of the play. Frank Manning fakes it to Demetrius Rogers, but Christian Heritage just brought linebackers and dropped him for a loss, Matt, of about 4.
Well, I tell you what, Frank Manning is taking some lumps tonight because they're getting to him in a hurry, and he's going to have some bumps and bruises when this game's over.
Yeah, right now the Lions are still just gambling. They're bringing extra people on the pass rush or on any kind of play at all, and they're just outnumbering the blockers. 8:35 to play in the football game. Clock is running. Tigers trail by 5 here in the 4th quarter. Darlington needs this win tonight. Christian Heritage undefeated in the region. Manning back, looking. Escapes a rush, and he's going to be brought down after a gain of about 5 or 6. He may be back to the original line of scrimmage. Let's see where they mark it, Matt. Looks like he's going to be back to the 18. And so it's going to be 3rd and 10 for Darlington.
Well, this is a real struggle, 1- and 2-win seasons respectively, but they really got things turned around. This is a good football program. They're well coached. can just watch it on the that positive happen. You can see that energy level just shift right away.
All right, here we go. Alex Little, toe meets leather, high, end over end kick. It's going to come down to him. He is dropped. A great special teams play.
Touchdown pass as well now. Thrown a 2-point conversion pass as well, so he's done.
Ball out to the 20. Great play for Christian Heritage.
It was. I thought for a second there we might see a Darlington interception, which would really put them in good position right now. But
here in the football game, 2 wide outs going to the far side, 1 to the near side. Darlington now with 4 down linemen. They're going to look like they're going to try to bring a different tackle to defensive line.
Yeah, you had a couple of guys get behind the line of scrimmage there and get after them. It took 3 or 4 guys to finally pull them down, but a great team.
Short 25-yard line by 3. Tigers with a touchdown pass and 2-point conversion. Frank Manning to Barrick Wade on the 2-point I formation, and Darlington gets through, gets penetration. Man, he did not get it, but I think Darlington's offside. Flag on or encroachment.
Didn't see.
That's a chop block called against the Lions. Darlington had stopped that play. Still this would be 4th and very short. I don't know what Tommy Atha would do here. You know, if you take the penalty, it's going to be half distance to the goal.
Yep.
Christian Heritage fans booing, but their team has made a lot of big penalties tonight. Center scoreboard on 95.7 The Ridge. Tigers go to 5-1 on the season, and this is a big region when Christian Heritage falls to 4-1. 1-1 in the region, and Roth Wilcox, Honeymoon Bakery, icing on the cake player of the game. That kickoff return had to tie the game up.